Hello folks, and welcome to my Skyrim Creation Kit Bootcamp video tutorial series. This series is intended to help people learn how to mod games, specifically Skyrim. I've created several mods in the past for Skyrim and other mods for Oblivion, Dragon Age Origins, Fallout 3, Portal 2, and Neverwinter Nights. I'm probably forgetting several others in that list, but I thought I would create a tutorial series that helps folks get into modding, especially with Skyrim. Bethesda's made a really great tool set for us to use, and it lends itself to these kinds of instructional videos. Each week I plan to produce a couple of videos that are basically related to a topic, a general topic. Some will fit into a how-to series, and those will be sort of complex questions and lengthy answers, usually 5 to 10 minutes or several parts. Then I will also have the quick reference set of videos, which are going to be much shorter, about 20 or 30 seconds, where I just present a question and I answer it really quickly. And usually it'll just be either a yes or no kind of thing, or a very, very quick sort of thing that I can show you. These are intended for you to look back on when you're making your own mods and you can't remember exactly how something was done, but you know that it's something really short and really simple. And I'll have those in a playlist so they're easy to refer to. And then I'm going to have a full mod walkthrough series, and that'll probably be in April. And I'll go through the creation of a mod from the very beginning to the very end with distribution. So we'll start with planning the mod, with what we want to do, and then we'll go through actually making the mod, scripting the mod, whatever we're going to do for the actual content, and then distributing the mod, creating the description, uploading it to the workshop, to the Steam workshop, to Nexus, to other places. And I'm going to go over quickly some of the topics that I will be discussing. Each week is going to be, well, most of the weeks are going to be different topics. Some of the topics last 2 weeks. So next week I'm going to start with world building, and that's just going to be, making a new world, new landscape, cluttering, using tools, the tile sets, connecting one level to another level, looking at lighting. It's a pretty lengthy topic, so we'll see what we can cover in a week. I might extend it to 2 weeks if it's too much. And I also want to cover opals, object palettes, and that. Those aren't used very much, but they're very interesting. After that, we're going to talk about encounters and monsters, talking about traps, patrols, just how to make a basic monster, and what all is involved with that. That should be about a week. NPCs, though, are going to be about 2 weeks. The first week is going to be more basic NPC stuff. I might be able to combine it with the encounters and monsters section. That's if I take world building to 2 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But I want to cover, making a follower, making a pet, making a marriage partner. And then a second week is going to be more involved kind of things with trainer NPCs, innkeepers, bards, blacksmiths, merchants, and going all throughout AI packages after that. So, that will definitely be a 2-week section for NPCs, I believe. Questing is also going to be a 2-week section probably. We're going to go through, everything from basic questing, basic conversations, fetch quests, to more complex quests with scripting and things like that. So then we're going to go into some technical sort of things with making new spells, perk trees, maybe we'll make a new race that week, and we'll make some abilities for those races. And we can do some different kinds of interactivity, scripting with that. I don't want to get too much into scripting before we actually go to the scripting section, though, so we'll see what exactly we can cover without getting too much into that. Then the next section is going to be art assets. We're going to talk about importing art assets, importing 3D models, retexturing some clothing from the standard Skyrim set of stuff, and maybe we'll create a new tattoo. We can see what we can do there, but I just want to talk about the technical aspects of creating stuff. I won't really go into like 3D modeling. You can look up different kinds of tutorials for those, but once you have your model, I'll show you how to get it into the game. And then the next section is going to be papyrus scripting, and we're going to talk about the basics of scripting, the kinds of things that you can do easily, and how to get more information on scripting as well. So we'll talk about, the Creation Kit wiki. And then after that will be the simple mod Creation Kit walkthrough, which I already discussed. And we can figure out a topic for that later, but I've got a couple of ideas that I'm rolling around that I'm going to see if I can squeeze any of those into a 5 or maybe a 6-part series. I don't want it to be too involved, but I want it to be very thorough. So we'll probably have more details on that towards the beginning of April or late March. And I'm going to start working on that, start publishing the videos anyway, in probably mid-April. So every week, every Wednesday, I'm going to be uploading some of these new videos. And that starts from today, and it'll go until May. And depending on how it goes, I might continue it on into the summer. And I might also check out some other games if there's any demand for that. So if you have any comments or requests, or if you have questions that you'd like to see me cover in some of the some of the different series, if I have time, I will definitely make an effort to include them in the video series. I have a very tight schedule. I have a lot of topics that I really need to cover, but if I do have time, I definitely will look at all of the comments and try and squeeze some of those questions in. And the kinds of things you need are pretty obvious. You're going to need Skyrim. I use the Steam version. You can use whatever version you like. I use all of the DLCs. You can use all of them or none of them. I may use some stuff from the DLCs in terms of assets, but it really shouldn't affect you. I mean, if you don't have that particular asset, you can use something from the standard game. It's not going to matter. And I'm going to use Photoshop for the art series if it's needed, but you can use GIMP or any various other art programs. And for this week, I'm going to kick off the series with, of course, the intro video, which is this, and I'm going to talk about Creation Kit basics and talk about some tips and tricks. I might split the tips and tricks off into a playlist where I just have a small video for a tip or a trick, and just kind of keep it as more of a reference thing, like the quick reference series. So, and then I'll also cover where to find help. A big part of being a modder is communicating with the rest of the community. A lot of people are, they get a lot of help from the community, and they also contribute a lot to the community. And, it's oddly a very social kind of hobby. So I'll cover that in a quick video after this.